Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome back to another edition of What's for Dinner. It's about 4:30 on Monday afternoon. Hope you're all doing well.
Hi.
So, had quite the storm this afternoon.
Not in Springfield when I left. It might be now, but
Yeah. Anyway, we got some rain. Hope you guys did too, and I hope you didn't get too much damage from all the wind we had going on. So, do you want me just to go ahead and start into? Okay, so tonight we did some bacon wrapped fillets. And we also did a ribeye. So Teresa is going to have the fillets. I'll have the ribeye, and probably she'll have one fillet. I'll have two, and then the ribeye's also for me.
jeez.
Yeah, it's a steak night. And then over here we got some leftovers. So we have leftover Philly cheesesteak brats and spinach dip that Teresa made. And then last but not least is our eggs, and they are being sautéed in pure butter.
Yep.
Right on. So, and by the way, guys, I fried these up in the. I used the grill, but I put them in these pans. So I like the flavor when they come out that way. So I cooked them right in those. All right. Will any of this stuff cause our blood sugar or insulin to spike?
Why would that matter?
I'm not sure. You tell me. Why is that important?
None of this will spike your blood sugar or your insulin. It's important because prevention is everything. You don't want to wait. I have said this before. You don't want to wait till you're sick and kind of crawling out of your grave trying to heal yourself. You want to manage things before they happen. And so when you have low insulin, so you have to have low sugar to have low insulin, then age-related and chronic disease doesn't happen to the extent it can happen if you aren't eating that. Sugar, it can cause wrinkles and oxidation, causes your insulin to be elevated, causes the clotting cascade to be initiated, which increases your risk for heart attack and stroke, cancer with insulin. I mean, there's just a lot of things. So if we added potatoes, macaroni, rolls, pasta, anything like rice, even brown rice, it's still sugary. The difference between brown rice and white rice, wheat bread and white bread, sweet potato, and wheat pasta and white pasta is hardly nothing.
Marginal.
Okay, it's like 2 grams of carbs difference. So I had one patient one time say, "Oh, I'm eating zucchini pasta," and I was like, "Oh, like the spiralized zucchini?" But no, one of the popular pasta brands makes zucchini and spinach pasta, and I looked and it was 1 gram different than the white pasta. These things are gimmicks to continue to fool you.
Gotcha.
So,
What else?
oh, I got to get my glasses.
Okay.
So I have a continuous glucose monitor here that Nate wore. He's one of our boys. He does not have diabetes, okay? He has a fully perfect functioning pancreas.
Yeah, he's 17 now. How old was he?
They were 12 when they wore these.
Yeah.
They're 17 now. So I fed them this morning 2 packs of oatmeal, maple and brown sugar, but I gave them low sugar, half a banana, some yogurt, and a granola bar. And my non-diabetic son went from a normal glucose of around 90 straight up to 250.
That was just for breakfast, right?
Right. His pancreas is beautiful. So he promptly corrects himself and falls straight down to 95. This doesn't feel good. Now, no one would argue that 95 is a low blood sugar. 40's low, 50's low. But when you go from 250 straight down to 95, it feels hypoglycemic. This is reactive hypoglycemia. These are the kids that are being taken out of church because they're fidgety and whiny and throwing tantrums because they had juice and muffins before church. And now they're crashing.
Or the kids in school who are being given, Ritalin or one of those other drugs because they're...
Well, because they're being diagnosed with a behavioral problem, but really it's probably food. Like you send 5-year-old boys to school who aren't interested in school. Most psychologists say they probably shouldn't be in school till they're 7 or 8. And when the boys did go to public school on cereal days, they could pick between Trix Fruit Loops and Fruit Loops Trix. I don't know, 3 different sugary cereals, a banana, a blueberry muffin, and then you send those 5-year-old boys to learn math after breakfast.
Chocolate milk or strawberry milk.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
if you're a diabetic, you guys sometimes are starting at 150. So this food pyramid regulated guideline breakfast is going to send you way up to 300. Okay. This kid started below 100 and he went to 250. So in between right here, We had eggs and bacon, which does nothing to your blood sugar. So we're having tonight. Then they went to a back to school party and they had straight junk. Chips, cookies, ice cream, cake, burgers, because there were buns with those. And look, the sugar spike is the same as the Holy Grail federally regulated breakfast for nursing home, hospitals, and schools. Incidentally, this is the breakfast we feed diabetics after we've amputated their feet in the hospital.
Because they had insulin and sugar problems.
Right.
Yep.
And then we feed it. This is a diabetic approved diet.
Yeah.
Okay. I fed them this every day of their lives till they were probably 9. And I fed them this one on special occasions thinking it was special, but it's the same. Okay. Here's what we're eating right now.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Profound.
And
Yeah.
this is a non-diabetic.
Yep.
So you diabetics are starting up here much higher, and then you're going up here to about 300.
So just to kind of break it down for the people who are watching who maybe aren't following is, you see that regular trend line where it's really low and it's straight. Yeah, and then you consume sugar and or carbohydrates. Your blood glucose goes up when you consume that. And then that downside of that is when your pancreas starts cranking out the insulin that it needs to pick up the sugar and move the sugar into either into the cells that need it for fuel or it to shuttle into storage for and convert it to fat.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at right there.
In diabetics, I've shown you a CGM of a diabetic. She went up and then she stayed up here for 2 hours before she finally fell. So this kid, his body's working perfectly. I'm just saying, if I'm doing this, I'm for sure having Andy's. I'm for sure having Cold Stone Creamery, Hertz Donuts, red velvet cake from scratch. I'm not messing around with this right here. This is going to leave you hungry too, and you start to crave more foods and get irritated and moody and mean.
Yeah.
So makes a difference.
It does.
So that is a visual. So when providers like endocrinologists and the diabetic nutritionists say to eat this breakfast, if you asked them for a CGM and they gave you one, you'd be able to see that they're full of malarkey.
Yeah, and so also that's probably good that you brought up CGM again. So a continuous glucose monitor, and basically you wear them on your arm, and it takes a reading about every 15 minutes of your blood sugar levels. Yes. And then you can there's an app on your cell phone, and you can monitor that on your app.
Yes.
And you usually wear it for about 2 weeks, and it kind of aggregates all the data over the period of 2 weeks. And you keep a food journal too. And a lot of the apps have the food journal built into them, so you can just put all your foods that you're eating. At the end of the 2 weeks, you've got all that data like we have right here for our son, and you can look at it and you can see what is it I'm eating that's causing these problems.
You would find hidden stuff that you don't think. Well, first of all, you'd eat a banana that you think is healthy, and you're going to see what it does. I have boys eating bananas versus pizza and funnel cakes, and you'd be surprised that the pizza and funnel cake is a smaller spike, which I'll try to remember to show tomorrow night.
Smaller spike than the banana, right?
Yeah. How much time have we been doing?
Oh, we're good. 8 minutes. We got a couple
So
minutes.
I wanted to also say, the food, diet, way your body looks should happen in the kitchen. You should not be trying to over-exercise and outrun your diet, because if you were to get hurt or have something happen in your life where you can't work out, you don't want to gain weight. So I always use the freshman 15 as an example. People always know that or in my day anyway, when kids went off to college, they gained 15 pounds. It was the freshman 15. It wasn't just because they went off to college. It's because, and I'm going to take boys, and we went to school, both of us in Clearwater, Florida. And so at our school, before the boys even started back for school, they were doing 2-a-days football practice.
During the summer, yeah.
During the summer. And then football led into basketball. Basketball overlapped football just a touch. And then into spring, you had baseball, cross country, and track. Okay, so you're busy all year long. And your metabolism's up and all that. When you go off to college, you don't do any of that. You're just sitting, but you're eating the same. Metabolism's dropping a little bit. So it's not just you gain a freshman 15, you aren't able to outrun your diet. If I was to eat foods like this, I don't work out that much. I do the smart training workout 2 times, 15 minutes, 2 times a week. I would never even burn off a banana. Yeah. So you can see, I'm saying I would be pre-diabetic very quickly if I went back to eating this way like I did 20 years ago.
Yeah, and we're also you can see the same thing happens in professional athletes. When they retire, look at them how they look. Now, not some of them stay physical specimens, don't get me wrong, but a great many of them end up getting extremely overweight, and they just don't look good. And it's the same thing. You're training at that high level throughout your athletic career, and you're burning those calories, and you're constantly working on performance and whatnot. But here's the deal with that too: is that that's not who we're talking to here. We're talking to those people are outliers.
Yes.
Some personal trainers that are just physical specimens who are working out all the time.
Own a gym and
absolutely. Yeah, people like that, or people who are military, especially special operations guys and gals and stuff like that. You're just training at such a higher level. Those are all outliers. That represents 0.02% of the population. We're going after the 99 who are metabolically challenged and who are overweight, they're obese, they've got high blood pressure, they've got coronary artery disease, all these things that can be reversed through diet. You're the people who we're trying to help here.
Yes.
So let's not forget that too.
Yeah, but if you don't know that information, how are you supposed to help yourself?
Yeah.
And what are you waiting on? Tell me what you're waiting on.
It's so hard to get started. I know that's the hardest part. Find a friend.
Well, I had a patient today say, tell me more, like, how do I get started? And I was like, what do you mean? You just eat meat. Any meat you can think of. I started saying, even if you see a possum in the road, like if you wanted to, that's meat. Any meat you can think of. I like beef, we eat beef, but it could be any meat. It's not that hard.
Are you advocating roadkill?
Well, Granny from Beverly Hillbillies would have.
All right.
I'm just saying times are tough.
On that note, we better cut out of here. So, did you have anything else?
No.
Okay, guys. Well, tell us what you're having for dinner. Any questions or concerns you've got, send them our way. And we love you all. And God bless you. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.